Ladies and gentlemen, let's go. Lifestyle, wellness, and a damn good time. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go. Hit it. You're listening to the Holistic Life Podcast, presented by Say What Radio.
Welcome to the Holistic Life Show. I'm Jenny.
I'm Jay.
Man, he always laughing. How about you do the intros?
Nah, we good.
Yeah, okay. Because otherwise we would sit here and never start.
Probably.
Do you guys realize this? I wish you could see, like, behind the scenes of what goes on.
You do not want to see behind the scenes of what goes on.
No, seriously. Well, actually, you probably would, because what happens is I totally geek out for like 10 minutes before, and Jay just turns his head in disgust, disbelief, disowning, any other disses. Anyways, what up? Welcome to the show. You know what? I can't help but just giggle because stuff has been heavy, man. Stuff has been heavy. If it's your first time to the show, welcome. And if you've been listening for a while, welcome back. And we have been spending some time. Geez, we looked back. The first episode of the Coping Through COVID series was April 2nd.
Which feels like forever ago.
Yeah, we're like, oh, that's 2 months. Like, technically, it's 2 months ago. But it feels like
forever.
Like 2 years or a year or multiple months.
Forever, ever.
Yes. I so wanted to like dance to that. I was like, ooh, if we were like on a real radio show, I could pull it up and that'd be cool. Anyways.
I don't want Jess to get charged for copyright.
I know, right? Good point. So anyways, yeah, like 2 months ago, we did the first episode of Coping Through COVID, and we had a total of 8 amazing people on our show, and they were experts in all different ways. Our most recent episodes were around the Black Lives Matter cause, and so if you haven't listened to those yet, go back and listen. Really deep, really good. And this is our recap of the Coping Through COVID and the final episode of season 1.
Whoa.
What?
That's crazy.
Yeah, like legit. And actually, while I'm here, our first episode.
What are you doing? You're like, what is that, Spotify? You're
Yeah,
over Spotify?
I'm not going to play. I'm not going to press play. I'm looking. Our first episode was January 29th, 2020.
January. So at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Which feels also like forever.
Like, what?
Well, I think it's crazy because we were doing this on Facebook.
For like a year, maybe 2 years prior to a year.
2 years.
Yeah, for a minute.
We didn't know what the fuck we were doing. Anyway.
Well, damn. That happens, though. At least we started.
Oh, wow. And to be January in 2020, I feel like we've grown so much.
Oh. So, let's get in. Let's chat a little bit.
Let's get into it.
We wanted just to really honor each one of our amazing speakers, but also just take some time to reflect back because, as we said, time is just totally different this year. It's like you think some time has gone by and you're like, oh, yeah, I got my shit together. And then something else whaps you on the upside the head. And that's why you keep seeing all these graphics. What was the like Jumanji one or whatever?
Oh, yeah. Congratulations. You made it to the end of May. Welcome to Jumanji level 6.
Or level 8, I saw.
Oh, there was a level 8. Mine said Jumanji level 6 because it's the 6th month in the year.
Right. That makes sense.
So, yeah, I don't know where level 8 came from, but it's hurricane season. So,
yeah. So the reason we brought that up is because it's like, wow, not that long ago, did we find out that there was an international global pandemic that was going to change our lives. And honestly, there was a lot of like chaos and uncertainty and shit there still is. But
I was getting ready to say that.
But I feel like as time goes on, you kind of like settle in, you kind of get a little grip and you feel a little more comfortable, but you're still seeking for so many answers.
Right.
And we really wanted to go back and just help highlight some of the ones you may have missed or help you to remember the ones that you loved the most and really utilize these tips, these resources, these conversations, because even though the series was coping through COVID, note that a lot of the stuff we talked about can be used like now, months from now.
It's just like coping. Coping period.
Yeah, it's just coping. We should have just called it coping through life. Honestly. So, first episode.
From the front lines?
Yep. Are you asking me?
You apparently have the notes over there.
I do, but I was trying to tee you up.
Oh.
Sometimes he doesn't recognize. We got to work on this, the tee-ups.
Yeah, the segues.
The segues, if you want to call it like that.
Those aren't really segues, though. They'd be like setups or...
I'm like trying to set you up. Like,
yeah, okay.
So the first episode, which is one of your really good friends. Yep. From the front lines.
I didn't forget, damn.
I didn't say you forgot.
The way you said it, oh, you should really remember that one. I mean, she was one of your good friends, and you don't even remember the damn episode. That's what I heard. I know that's probably not what you said, but that's what I heard. That's totally what I heard.
Setup.
That was the tone.
That was the that's fine. You heard it that way, but that was the setup. My point was, like, you should know that one so close to your heart. I'm like, yo, the first one. Like, if I was like, yo, what's the seventh one? I could see, but like, well, damn, you have the notes.
Well, actually, no. The seventh one as well. So,
all right. Anyways, first episode, y'all. I hope you're having a blast.
From the front lines. So we had the marvelous Desiree Adams, aka Nurse Know-It-All, on their episode, and this was like right around when this thing started to get serious.
Mm-hmm.
And we were just talking about what essential personnel, what they were seeing and how they were dealing with it, and like the importance of the things that were going on at that time. And it was an interesting conversation, mainly because with anything new, you don't really know what's going on. So you just do the best that you can until you get more information. So that was a very in-depth show and conversation about not only how people, the general public, were dealing with it, but like how the essential healthcare workers were dealing with it as well.
Then we got into our second episode, which to me feels like I just listened to it yesterday, only because the second episode made such a huge impact in our lives.
No, we're still using the tips from that one. I think that's one of those timeless shows. Like you can pull up 2 years from now and still use the information.
Right. And that was the Finding Organization in the Chaos. We had Stephanie Sikora, who's a professional organizer out of Colorado. She schooled us and we went to work. And I'm telling you, like, that episode, if you're looking to get some shit together in your house and get some organization together, listen to that episode because it lit a fire under our butts and we organized everything. And we got rid of so many things. And you know what's cool is we actually worked with Stephanie, and I don't think we talked about this on there, but we worked with Stephanie.
We really didn't work with her until after the fact.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Right.
I'm sorry.
We worked with her, and we ended up getting one of her. She's got a program available. I forget what it's called, but just reach out to her. She'll tell you. It's basically where you can pay for a virtual organization. So you take a video of your area and then she will come back and give you tips and help you to organize that area. So she doesn't have to actually come to your place.
Right.
So we did that with her and showed her around and she was like, move this, move that, do this, do that, get rid of this. She helped us to get through all of that. So that was huge. That made a huge difference because literally, how about the Tupperware? Our Tupperware area, we thinned out. Like, we got rid of half or maybe 2/3. We had a whole area
of Tupperware,
which is fine, like in different things, but we didn't need nearly as much as what all that was.
And she really helped just grasping as a whole, just, you know, some things you kind of have around that you never see and that's like taking up space.
She said renting space.
Yeah. That's the term she used, like renting space, and you know how you kind of put stuff in a certain area because that's what you're used to. And it's like, okay, why is this here? Is it helping anything right here? Like, why don't you put it somewhere that you'll use it? Or when you have stuff in drawers and stuff, like you don't have to fill up every drawer. Like you don't have to fill up every space of your home. It was just interesting, empowering, and freeing all at the same.
So then we go on to the third episode, which was Thriving Through the Storm.
With my guy, Eddie Miller out of San Antonio and Region 3 Fitness, which has probably opened.
Yes, it's open.
Okay.
It's open for sure. It's open because I've been following them, and I totally, if I lived in San Antonio, I would be at their gym.
You'd be up in the
Yeah,
spot.
he's putting up really cool videos every day. Like, hey, here's this fun class. And of course, he's like, here's how we're keeping it safe and sanitized. But it looks like it's a really like high energy and just fun place to be, which I know that a lot of you listening might be like, really? How'd you put gym and fun in the same sentence? But that's the point. Like,
some people dig the gym.
no, that's true. That's true. I'm not saying everybody doesn't, but
I dig the gym.
you know,
sometimes.
if you rolled your eyes when I said that,
Oh, I rolled my eyes when I said
if you,
Oh, okay. Sorry.
as a listener,
Yeah, okay. If
not my-
you guys.
not
if
my,
You.
oh, that happened before. Jay didn't get it. Soldier boy, I tell you. You. Oh, wait, that sounded like an owl.
Yep.
Hold on.
Oh, wait. Okay.
You.
We're moving on.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
So anyways, we talked before Eddie had opened his gym because he was set to open, and when COVID hit, like that pushed back all of his plans. So it was a real great conversation.
And it was cool because he was in a position where he was doing stuff outside of the gym anyway. So he already had a following. So when everything calmed down and they were able to reopen, he already had like a clientele and a customer base to get in there. Like Jen said, they're shooting videos every day. Every time they had equipment in, he would do like an unboxing and a video type of thing, which was cool. And to see that actually happen from our conversation a few months ago. And mainly that one was talking about the importance of still being active while you're quarantined and locked down in these crazy times right now, and how moving, some kind of movement period, is important for your sanity.
So the fourth one was dawn of a new digital era with the boss Justice of Say What Radio.
I really enjoyed this conversation, mainly because she is so ahead of her time. She was telling me that we needed to be on, well, maybe not we, because I don't think 2J Holla was around then, but I needed to be on Instagram before Instagram popped off. So she's like always ahead of the curve. And she's one of those people who you definitely want around, you definitely want in your circle. And just the knowledge she had, like she was doing this podcasting thing when podcasting wasn't cool, when they call it something else. Before it was hip, slick, and cool. She was like a trendsetter, a trailblazer, if you will. And that was cool because we were just talking about like how, although times seem crazy right now, it's also opening up a lane for more digital avenues and more digital waves and more opportunities. Because before all this, it seemed virtually impossible for someone to like work from home. I mean, we all knew it was possible, but jobs were like, no, you can't work from home remote. No, you can only have 3 remote days out of the year and blah, 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 blah.
Right.
So that was cool. Zoom is probably like blown up and other video conferencing things because this situation, this pandemic had made it possible for people to be creative because the show still had to go on. Like some way, business still had to go on. So that was a very cool episode. What'd you think?
Yeah, no, I definitely agreed. I mean, I've so many thoughts, right? They were all collided at once. It's like the digital era that we talked about was already here, right? But it's here. Like, I don't know if that inflection, that was probably dorky because that's what I do, but
I get what you're saying,
it's
though.
like,
Because it was like here, but then it was like, oh shit, it's here.
it's almost as if like mainstream America, mainstream global citizens know about some of the things that a lot of online entrepreneurs or some of the millennials or some of the like only a certain sector
Right.
or a couple sectors or people knew about.
Right.
For me and Jay saying Zoom and like whatever before, it was kind of normal.
Right.
Because we'd used it a lot.
Yeah, we were in that circle, that community.
But then you talk to some people, they're like, what? They look at you like you're crazy. So sometimes I have to remember when we talk about some of this stuff. But now this is just,
Zoom is like
and all the funny stories along the way as everybody was adapting to the new digital
Zoom
era with the no pants and the whatever.
It's funny because Zoom is like Uber. You know, when you say Uber, you really mean Lyft, but you use Uber. You know, like Kleenex is the synonym for tissue. And I just mean tissue to blow my nose. So I think that's what Zoom has become for video conferencing. You could be using something else, but it's just like, hey, yeah, hop on the Zoom. We'll do a Zoom thing. And it's like, you sent me this kaleidoscope thing. And it's like, yeah, well, you know what I meant, the Zoom.
Right. Or like another one I saw in corporate America, blue jeans. was the name of one of the like video. I was like, what the F is Blue Jeans? Where are you inviting me? And then I realized it was a video conferencing thing. Yeah. So, all right. So episode 5, Freedom from the Fear. We had Emily Rivera, the angel coach, on. And what I loved about that episode is, so that one aired at the end of April, right? And that was definitely like mid-swing where it's like, you realize that this was like even realer than probably what you realized at the beginning.
I think that's when it kind of set in. It was like, yo, you're at home. Like, for real.
Yeah.
Like, we're locking this bitch down. You're at home.
Yeah. At the beginning, it was like, oh, crap. Maybe it'll just last a couple weeks or something. Right. And then this was like, this ain't ending. It'll end eventually. But like, not around the corner. So we really just talked about empowering states. And we talked about just how to really free yourself from the fear. And Emily is really strong at, and she's an intuitive coach. And so if you don't know what that is, she basically has learned how to pay attention to energy and different signals. Like, she has multiple intuitive gifts. She can hear guidance. She can see guidance. She can smell sometimes. She can all of the different ways. And so she has a series of different spiritual guides in her life that help her. I don't know. I don't know if this is like too offbeat, like talking about that, but I mean, she was on our show, but she just didn't go into some of those things. So anyways, she brought that spiritual aspect into the conversation.
Which was cool. Because she brought it across in a way that you say spiritual to some people and they're like, oh shit, I don't know. That's kind of weird. She brought it in a way that was definitely, I think, relatable for everybody.
So episode 6, Awareness in the Moment, with Danielle Shields. And she is a mental health therapist focusing on mindfulness. And this is actually, I've worked with her personally. I love her. Man, that was a really good one because there's so many things that were going on. So now we're going into May when this hit, and listen to that episode right now because there's all kinds of stuff going on, and go listen to like Awareness in the Moment, because it's kind of like tapping into the different layers of truths, tapping into different ways of thinking about things, different ways to position, different angles. How can you meet it with emotion and acceptance and really still be strong in your own skin? I think there's so much, I don't know. What I love about Danielle is that she helps me to reframe some of my thoughts or beliefs that are disempowering, that aren't helping me, that aren't helping serve me. And I feel like that's what she did really powerfully and very gracefully on that episode. All right, episode 7.
At this point, we knew we still wanted to do 2 more shows, but we were like, the 2 people we wanted to have on the show, their schedules didn't permit, so we couldn't get them on. Then it was like, oh, we still want to do 2 more shows. Like, how can we close this out? How can we close this out? And it was kind of one of those things that just happened because, as you know, places being closed, the gig community, is that right, Jane? Gig community?
Yep, gig economy.
The gig economy, the gig community, they can't work because the places they usually play at are closed, and you can't tour, you can't go to a theater anywhere and listen to live music. So this has forced a lot of the people in the gig economy to kind of like have to pivot and still find a way to do that through Zoom and stuff. So one of our real good friends, Danielle, her name is Danielle, is also
Danielle Toronto.
We didn't do two Danielles back to back, or maybe we did, whatever. Anyway, real good friend who's a professional violinist, and she's been playing for years. And we just talked to her about the gig economy and what they're doing, how things have changed, how they have had to adapt to the current situations and still get the job done. And she played live for us, which was pretty freaking awesome. And she actually sang one of the songs off of her latest album,
Caledonia,
which was cool. But I think we kind of got tagged for copyright stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, crap. I didn't know that.
Because didn't Justice say that we had to like switch it out or something? Or
No.
anyway.
I mean, what happened is we
did
it live with her, and then Danielle gave us the track.
Okay. I think she said she would prefer the track because it didn't.
Yeah, because the thing is over Zoom, as you guys know, with everybody using it, it was kind of like not getting everything, so you couldn't really hear the backtrack that Danielle was singing over.
It might have been a private conversation too. Yeah, it might have been a private. Okay. Let's continue.
Well,
anyway,
dang.
She performed live. It was pretty dope. And it was just cool. It was just cool to see how people are still thriving in these current situations.
And then the last one that we closed it up with was Sarah Salimi, Light at the End of the Tunnel.
And this was cool because we literally met Sarah 2 days before we recorded. That was cool. I would call Sarah a branding marketing Jedi, if you will. Sarah's awesome. I love that Sarah was awesome because her main goal was like wanting to help people. And it's interesting because she's in the marketing world. Like she's in the digital world. She's part of the digital world. And most digital marketing people, you see them like all over Facebook and Instagram, LinkedIn or whatever. And she's like, yeah, I know this is my market, but I'm not really on here. We had to get her to send us a selfie for her picture because basically we couldn't find a picture in any of her social media that would come off clear enough. So it's just funny. But she was definitely cool. Definitely awesome to talk to.
We talked about a lot. We covered
so much.
We covered a little bit about what's going on in personal branding. We talked about some different resources. We talked about artificial intelligence and how that ties into marketing. I mean, Jay and I could definitely talk to her for hours.
As a matter of fact, we need to reach out to her and talk to her again.
Yes, definitely do. And you guys, and the reason that we're so excited about it is, once again, marketing lives on. Like you're always going to need marketing information and whatnot. So that one just aired. That was like our most recent one because Sarah is a marketing wish. She got that out to quite a few people on LinkedIn, which was awesome.
It just seemed marketing at work. I think that was cool for me to see marketing at work. I mean, because we're still brand new to this in a sense. And just to see people comment, people share, people be like, hey, that was a great show. One of the people she shouted out, like commented, hey, thanks for giving me a shout out. And I don't think she told him that she shouted him out in the show. So he had to listen to come back and say that, which was pretty awesome.
Yeah, no, that was cool. I don't have his name in front of me, but he created that accessibility app. So he was like the younger gentleman who created the accessibility app for people with disabilities so they know where they can go and what's available and ramps and access and all of that.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah, so that was really cool. I mean, overall, I'm so glad we did that series. It was really just like an idea on a whim because we wanted to be able to give some inspiration, some tactical advice, some strategies, some, hey, you're not alone. We just really wanted to give other people a platform to share their amazingness, but also to give you something to be excited about when things were really just kind of down.
I think it actually worked out better than we thought it would.
Yeah, and we actually enjoyed having people on. Jay and I have talked about this and we haven't fully solidified anything. So of course, reach out to us and let you know what you think. I mean, I know you love the two of us, like, oh, so much.
Who doesn't love
I'm just saying. No, but we know you like us and we talked about having...
JJ and Kine.
We talked about having series like this where we would do different things and host different people. We don't know how often, we don't know when, we don't know what. I'm sure we will get the inspiration, we'll get the nudges, we'll get the guidance, like, hey, nudge, nudge. But it's also what you want to listen to as a listener. So make sure you let us know what you want to hear more of. Did you like the interviews? Do you want more of them? Are there certain types of people you want us to interview and maybe do a certain series on something? I don't know. I'm just throwing this out first time. Maybe we do a series on different African American people and we bring them on and let them show their amazingness and introduce you to some new people. Or who knows, right? Like, I mean, there's so many different things throughout the year and throughout our different seasons that we might do some of that stuff. So let us know. And oh yeah, by the way, if you totally missed it, which I don't know how you did, but I get it. Do you guys realize that we dropped an amazing product during all this?
Holy crap, did we drop an amazing product through all this?
Yeah, like totally. Guys, we've been working so hard for the past 5 months and beyond, right? Because it's like a lifelong thing. But specifically the past 5 months, we worked really hard on the Thrive Guide. And the Thrive Guide came out June 1st. And that date that it came out was probably the hardest date for it to come out. Because if you listen to Enough is Enough, like you hear some of the pain and the heaviness of everything going on with the civil unrest and the riots and everything. So all of that broke out like the weekend before we dropped that product.
Yeah, shit was crazy.
But irregardless of that, oh wait, that was not right. That was not the right thing to say because that's a very important subject. But despite all of that, we dropped the Thrive Guide on June 1st. We've already had a ton of sales come through. The students are excited. So what is the Thrive Guide? Like, I'm sitting here talking about it. You already know. Let me tell you.
Why'd you tap me?
Because I'm teeing you up. Let me tell you. Let us tell you.
The Thrive Guide is basically a kick-ass tool that helps you. Okay, so here's the deal. I always do this when I talk about the Thrive Guide. Basically, we got tired of the status quo of society and people saying you should look a certain way to be healthy. And you have to deprive yourself of the things that you enjoy, because if you don't, you won't be healthy. So what the Thrive Guide does is it helps you create small, sustainable habits that lead to big changes, mainly eating and mindset. And it's simple stuff. Simple stuff. Stuff you can start to put in action today, and you can start to see results next week.
And the students who have been taken in, I've been sending us messages. They're like, oh my God, this is awesome. This is helping so much. And then actually, so the only way that you can get time, one-on-one time with us, is through the Thrive Guide. And it's actually a way better offer than anything you would buy like straight up, is we actually have a one-time offer on there after you purchase the Thrive Guide to give you the chance to spend 90 minutes with us. And that's for a wellness blueprint call. And we actually just had our first wellness blueprint call today. And she was like, oh my God, this is exactly what I needed. We gave her clear steps on how. She really was just looking for a way to become more consistent with her eating so that she can make the change that she needs to make in her life. I don't want to make it too specific because I want to I guess the thing is, when the doctor says, hey, you need to lose a certain amount of weight,
or
that puts the pressure on.
Or get on more medication.
Get on more medication, you want to reduce that or whatever, because we're not doctors. We're not giving you medical advice.
Well, no, that's what her doctor said.
Oh,
you need
okay.
to lose these weights or get on more medication.
Oh, I misunderstood.
Clearly.
Anyways, so, dude, it was so exciting.
Yeah, it was cool.
So where do you go to get the Thrive Guide? Y'all, you got to go get it now. You're going to be freaking blown away by not only the price, because, dude, we crammed so much into this product for this amazing price because we wanted to make it available to everybody. Okay. We didn't want to price it way too high to where only a certain few could buy it. We want to make sure everybody could jump on board and make the change. And so you go to www.holla.com/Thrive Guide.
All together, no spaces.
Yes. So go there and check it out, purchase it, add it to your list of things. There's an app where you'll be able to access everything, all the videos and the audio. You'll get to see what we look like. Oh my God, that's just worth it right there. You get to go watch us. You're just listening to us right now. Why are you laughing? Okay, obviously that's not a benefit. It's probably not. It's not on the sales page. Guess what? You get to watch us. I'm just saying, if you're like, man, I wonder what they look like when they're together talking, now's your chance. Although there's other places you could go for that, but I don't know, man. Whatever. Look, y'all love us because we're a bunch of crazy cats.
I love us.
All right. Stay safe. Stay loving. I don't know. We need to have a cool, I'm out thing. We do have one.
We have
Ready?
one. Wait. No, I'm not.
We do have one. Ready? Mahalo.
That's not it.
Oh, what is it?
We've changed it.
What is it?
I don't know. I can't say it. You put it in the email last week.
You can't say it.
Yeah. Anyway, let's go with mahalo for now. And then we'll update it next week.
Live your rockin' life?
No.
Oh, boy. This is fun. Don't you love this?
Hakuna Mahalo.
Hakuna Mahala. When did that go in the email?
I just said it.
Hakuna Mahala. What a wonderful phrase. Peace.
You can subscribe to the Holistic Life Podcast from your favorite streaming platform. And don't forget to check out 2jholla.com to stay in the know as an official 2JH insider. Mahalo for tuning in. And until next time, that's our show.